use a format function to format this correctly. And the good thing about the format function is that it always returns a string. And so concatenating the result of the format function, which is a string, to a string, you won't have a problem. And so let's format this. I'm going to wrap the format function around the area. Now the format function takes in two arguments. It takes in what you want to format, in this case area, and as the next argument, how you want it formatted as a format string. So I want to format area, and how I want it formatted is as a floating point value. So I'm going to type in F, and then I'm going to specify the precision. How many decimal places do I want this formatted to? The precision goes before the conversion character, and so I'm going to type in 0.2 to represent 2 decimal places, right? Precision goes before the conversion character. All right, so area colon and then a space concatenated to the area, the value that we got here, formatted to 2 decimal places as a floating point value. So that's our first argument. So I'm going to type in a comma, first argument in the print function, and then the second argument is going to be similar to the area, circumference colon space. I'm also going to concatenate it to the value of circumference. Again, we need to format that because circumference is a floating point value, and if you try to concatenate a floating point value to this string here, you're going to get an error. And so I'm going to call the format function around circumference. The format function takes in 2 arguments, what you want to format and how you want it formatted. So the next argument is going to be how I want it formatted as a format string. I want it formatted as a floating point value, formatted to 2 decimal places. Precision goes before the conversion character. And then now we're good. So this is the first argument of the print function. This is the second argument of the print function. Now, by default, when you pass an argument into the print function like this, they are going to be displayed with a space separating them. So it's going to display area and then its value, and then a space, and then it's going to display the next argument. So let's see how that looks before we make any further tweaks to it. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to go to our folder. I know I'm saving it in Dropbox, and it's deep in my folder structure. So code, Python, YouTube. Let's do Python program challenges. This is a chapter 2 program, so I'm going to save it here. Inside of that, I'm going to create a folder, and I'm going to call this circle measurement, and I'm going to save this as circle measurement.py. Okay, so let's see. Please type in a radius. I'm going to type in 5, hit enter. Now it's saying area is equal to 78.54 and a space, circumference 31.42. So by default, when you pass an argument into the print function this way, they are displayed with a space separating them. You can keep it like this, or you can break them on a separate line. So the default separator in the print function is a space. You can change that value from a space to something else. In this case, I'm going to change mine to a new line character, \n. So the new line character together, the / and then the n is one character together, yet it's treated as a special command, and we are saying that the print function to use this as a separator, which means don't use the space as a separator here. Display the first argument, display this first argument, and then don't separate with the default space. We've changed that to a new line character. A new line character is going to break or separate the argument, like line after line, right? So display this value and separate with a new line, which means move the position from here to the next line, and the next argument is going to follow from here going, right? So let's see how that plays as a factor. So run this, type in 5, hit enter, and then now it's separating by a new line versus a space. So this looks, much better. A few cleanup things we need to do. So I don't know if you see this gray line over here, but this gray line is a guide for me to make sure I'm typing 80 characters on a line. It's a Python standard to type 80 characters on a line, and I want to stick to that. And so I need to break this line into 2 to make sure that I'm not exceeding this line here. And in Python, you can break a line by typing in a backslash and hit enter. Now, maybe it's worth noting that if you are in parentheses, you don't necessarily, if you're in parentheses and you're breaking the line, you don't necessarily need the backslash. But for me, it's a habit that I've stuck with, so I'm going to put it there. If you put it there, no harm caused. All right, so now I'm not exceeding this line and we're good. Let's now check for accuracy. So I'm going to type in 10, hit enter. It's saying that area is 314.16, circumference is 62.83. So let's check Google to make sure. So area of a circle with radius 10. So it's saying that the area is 314.16, and it's correct. Area is 314.16. Now let's check the circumference of a circle with radius 10, and it's saying the circumference is 62.83, and it's correct, 62.83. So we're done. All right, so if you have any questions, please post down below as always, and I'll do everything to respond to them. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and then I'll see you next time with the next video. All right then, bye-bye.